What is going on, guys? I am excited to do this video. We are going to be looking at this behemoth right here. This is the Eufy X10 Pro Omni. Now this is a robot vacuum and mop with 8,000 PA suction and AI built in. So with that said, let's check this thing out. So first things first, I want to thank Eufy for sending this out for me to check out. Now, I work with them quite a bit. They send me awesome stuff, but all of my reviews, details are my own. So my experiences are my experiences. They have not had any pre-sight into this review at all. So this is all real stuff, but I just appreciate them sending this over for me to take a look at. Now, the Eufy X10 Pro Omni is packed with a ton of features aimed at making basically the entire cleaning routine a whole lot easier just in general. Now it offers, as I mentioned, 8,000 PSA suction, which is something that a lot of people are looking for right now on the high-end robot vacuums, in which it aims basically to set itself apart with a combination of self-cleaning capabilities and some pretty advanced AI features, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Now, on top of that, it comes with dual mops that automatically lift up to 12 millimeters when it detects carpets. And it can also avoid obstacles with its AI.See technology, which means it recognizes over 100 different objects. Now, on top of that, the auto mop washing feature not only cleans the mop pads, but then also heat dries them with 113 degrees Fahrenheit, which is designed to keep basically the pads clean and ready for the next cleaning. So not only does this thing vacuum and empty itself and mop, it also cleans the mop head and air dries them with heated air, which is just insane. So this thing really, kind of does the whole thing. Now, after I got this thing set up, my experience with the Eufy X10 Pro Omni was pretty solid. So right off the top, build quality, as you would expect from a Eufy product, because Eufy makes really solid products in general. The build quality feels like a Eufy product. It feels very high end, which I appreciate. It looks sleek with kind of that modern, kind of a low profile design. It blends in really well in any home. My particular scenario, and you'll see this from the clips, we have a specific spot in our kitchen where the robot vacuum just lives. It has a plug, it's kind of out of the way and nice. It just looks nice over there. It's just a really nice looking piece of equipment. They didn't do anything weird. There's no weird colors. It's just a nice, it just looks good. Eufy knows how to make things look nice, and it looks really nice. So I think that's really nice. Aesthetically, if you're trying to put something like this that's supposed to live out in the open at all times so it can do all of its cleaning and suction and emptying of its own self, you want it to look nice, and it does. Now, when you pick this thing up, I can tell you it feels really sturdy. It doesn't feel overly heavy, but it feels really well put together. And as I mentioned, the all-in-one station is a freaking great. It empties itself, it washes the mop automatically, so I'm not having to constantly maintain it. Coming from a robot vacuum that is an older style, but does have a water tank, and it would basically just wipe the ground, and then not having it empty. I feel like I'm coming from the Stone Age and launching into like the future, like the Jetsons. I'm telling you, the amount of convenience factor upgrades that I received here is huge. Now, during my testing, we let it run in the living room, and our entire downstairs is primarily laminate floors. But we do have some rugs, and what we found was that it did a really great job with the suction on the rugs, and it picked up all the pet hair. Now, we have 2 dogs that shed constantly, and they are way too much for our old robot vacuum, so this one definitely did a much better job. I feel like the floors were nice and clean, and when it got to the rug segments, it just lifted up the mop and vacuumed only. It was great. So the mops, the rugs weren't all wet and stuff like that. That's kind of what I was worried about. It just did a really good job. So very intelligent cleaning, and it just got the job done perfectly. Now, the next thing that I noticed was the AI obstacle avoidance. And you can see from some of the clips here, we did some tests on this to see how it would do. And this feature is pretty smart. It easily navigated around a pair of shoes left out to test. It had no problems avoiding common obstacles like power cords and toys and other stuff that was on the ground. I also customized the cleaning zones using what they call their AI Mop 3.0. In the office, I don't trust any robot vacuum regardless of its ability to avoid cords, because I know that there's a ton of cords. My cable management is terrible at home. I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't trust anything going in there and vacuuming except for a human. And so I turn that into a no-go zone, and that works perfectly. I can leave the door open and I don't have to worry about that thing going in there and doing who knows what. So that was nice. Now, the only thing that I will say that I didn't love, and it didn't affect me necessarily directly, but I think this is something that I kind of have a beef with just in general in tech right now, is that it's only compatible with 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi signals. I run 5.0. I think a lot of people are slowly but surely getting Wi-Fi 5.0 on most of their ISPs, right? And so the functionality and requiring it to be on 2.4, I get it, the technological requirements and things like that, it just bothers me. I wish that we would just like basically push towards 5 gigs as quick as possible. But in my house, I run both. I run a 5 gig and a 2 gig. Being a tech person, I have to kind of have that ability functionality. So I was able to plug it in and connect it really quickly. I have a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi ready to go, so I was logged on and it didn't cause any problems for me. I just will say that if you don't have the 2.4 gigahertz turned on, there may be some technical setup that you have to do on your network side to get that up and running, which is just bothersome. But anyway, outside of that, I have not been able to find any other features or problems with this thing. This thing has been fantastic. Definitely a huge upgrade from what we had previously. And if you're just jumping into getting a robot vacuum, this thing is going to do a lot of work for you and save you a whole lot of time. So guys, all in all, I have to say, setup was really easy. You don't have to configure a lot if you don't want to. You can get a little bit detailed with the no-go zones and some of the other features and things like that, setting up a schedule on when you want it to clean automatically. The beauty of this is that previously, like I said, we had a little, our old vacuum had the little thing on there and it was always full. So I couldn't really do the scheduling thing because once it did a cleaning, it was full. I had to empty it all out and stuff like that. And when I wanted to use it again, I'd start it. And this being able to empty itself is going to let me put it on a schedule. I can say, hey, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just do your thing, right? And know that it's going to empty itself out, clean itself off, and then run again. So that's a really nice feature. I'd say if you have a very busy lifestyle, you're looking for ways to cut back on time spent doing things like chores, this is gonna be a great way to do that. If you're looking at upgrading one that you already have like we are, it's gonna be a great option for you. If you're looking for one that's in the high-end scale, that's got the features that people are looking for, I would definitely consider checking this one out. But guys, as usual, that's my review. I think it's fantastic, so check it out. See you in the next one.